So one of the big things that happened literally today is Colombia is not going to take back the illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants here that are going back to their country.
Right.
So Trump's going to put a crazy tariff on them. Their visas are going to be basically destroyed for everyone here. How do these tariffs? When I watched the Joe Rogan podcast, I understood how the tariffs worked, but when it comes to the imports and exports and blah blah blah, what happens with our relationships with those countries? Like I know Trudeau is very anti these tariffs, but he stepped down like a week ago anyway. So what's the benefit of the tariffs, except for the fact that it's a power play on these countries to go, okay, listen, we get it, you're not backing down. But what happens if they don't? It just means they have to pay the tariffs. But I mean, you wouldn't do that can you do that to China when they make so many things here? Like I feel like if China decided we're not paying the tariff, so we're not going to give you stuff anymore, I feel like that would be detrimental to the United States.
Well, put it this way: it's a relationship. All right. So, what's right now? Okay, Chris, I'm going to buy pencils from you, and every 10 pencils, I'm going to pay $10.
Right.
You're going to buy 10 pencils from me, and for every 10 pencils, you're only going to pay $5. That's what America's been doing. That's not fair to us.
Right.
Why do you get to pay $5 less for the same product? Or I'm doing apples to apples, but
well, it's very similar with the medications.
Right. But now the only difference is over the years, America has said, you produce the medicines. You do it over there. We haven't said it, but pharmaceuticals are like, I'm not going to produce these medications in America. I got to pay a fortune. I'll go produce it over in China. I don't have to pay them union wages. It's a communist country. They'll make these people work for basically slave labor, right?
Right. That's the
benefits. So I pocket the difference. It's not like they sell the drugs any cheaper. They just pocket the difference and make a lot of money. Well, where's the problem in that? When you have a pandemic and you need those drugs, now the country, whoever it is, it happens to be China,
has the power.
Literally, our lives depend on keeping that relationship going, and we have to kowtow. But now the President of the United States is saying, we don't have to kowtow anymore, and our economy's in the trash right now. We need to really bring it back. And I'm going to start by balancing out these relationships, because what most people don't get. Let's move China to the side. Tell me what the country of Colombia produces.
Just coffee. Like, what else do they have?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I put a tariff on them, they rely on us to buy whatever it is that they ship out of that country. Coffee, I'm sure there's other products, but they're not known as a booming industry. What are the businesses there in Colombia? What do you know of? And I'm not looking to insult Colombia, but it's not a world power.
Sounds like an insult, mother.
No, I'm just saying we have the economy to support other nations. We buy other people's goods. We have the ability, even our not so wealthy people. We buy from China. We have the funds to do it. They need us. We are their major marketplace, as is the UK and Europe and most of the Western world, right? The US keeps getting taken advantage of because we keep making these deals that are not helping us. Of course, Canada doesn't care. Tell me, what major industries are in Canada?
Oil. They're big for oil.
Yes.
But that's also why he wants Greenland, because of the resources up there. But they make a good maple syrup. That's about it. I know Matt Sprague would be like, no, this is what we have.
No, Ontario is a booming area. Montreal, Quebec, these are booming areas. But there's huge chunks of Canada that are frontier.
Yeah. Like, people don't know, but I think only 25% of Canada's livable.
A very small amount is populated and a metropolis, cities and whatnot. But they need us. They need the United States. We're the cheapest trade because they don't have to put it on ships.
Yep.
Right?
It just goes right over the border.
Right over the border, back and forth. Same thing with Mexico. That's why we had NAFTA under President Bush, North America Free Trade Arrangement between Mexico, Canada, and whatnot. But then a lot of people came in afterwards and said, hey, wait a minute, America's getting screwed in this deal. Mexico's making out, Canada's making out, and once again, we were getting the short end of the stick. most Americans didn't care because it's not like our shelves were empty, but when people started to realize, but we're not generating the revenue that these other countries are. On the flip side, now you got our president, and he said last time he was in office, NATO countries, they have to pay their fair share.
Yeah.
Why is the United States, why are we paying, what was it, like a 5%, 6% GDP, a huge amount, and they're paying
less than half of a percent.
They were supposed to pay 2%. They weren't even paying that. And yet they were the first ones to complain when there was war over there. Where are the Americans? How dare the Americans?
Yeah.
Send your guns, send your this. Why is that our responsibility? Now, I'll back up and say, oftentimes, we should be responsible because we caused a lot of this unrest.
Yeah.
That's another thing we're finding out through this lack of transparency. Thank God for, once again, 2020, the silver lining in some really bad things. We learned a lot about our country and just how bad
things are run.
Not the American people, but just how bad our government has been in our name, in our nation's name, causing trouble around the world, that now the current president has to mop this mess up. Yeah. And people are going to be looking for money. They're going to be demanding money from us to rebuild these places. And we'll probably wind up doing it because we have to have that relationship.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we've really highlighted, the worst thing about these tragedies in California and North Carolina, Hawaii, East Palestine, it's just how little we have for our own citizens.
I was going to say that, yeah. Because they said that, so apparently these wildfires, it's going to be the most money we've spent fixing something in American history.
Yeah.
In our own country.
Yeah.
So,
if we do it, we'll probably wind up doing it because it's California. But these smaller areas like North Carolina, it's taken 4 months and a new president to finally say, we'll get you hotels.
Yeah, at least, yeah.